Kenner's Real Ghostbusters toy line was one of my favorites as a kid and still is to this day, but back then you never thought about how delicate and breakable their proton packs were. My Winston figure currently doesn't have a pack that fastens to his back. The pressure fit pins broke off and now it's essentially a little nub. Probably a more common complaint is the delicate particle stream that always tends to break off. But for right now, we'll be taking a look at just the pack. And when I say pack, I'm not talking about the very first original run of these. I can only speak to the second run. The original had the rope hose coming out from the bottom of the pack, and that would require a little more invasive maintenance. The second run pack had a knot coming from the bottom middle of the pack that we do have access to. Okay, so I was able to source this broken pack. The stream and the parts of the blaster may be broken, but the pack is still in decent enough shape. And that's definitely the main thing to take away from this video. If you're just starting out collecting vintage Ghostbusters, you'll be running into way more broken packs than you will be complete. Don't let that stop you, as there oftentimes tends to be one or two usable components to each pack that you still might be able to mix and match with others to make one complete one. In order to remove this donor pack, I'll pry up the knot that I mentioned earlier. These knots tend to be super tight initially, so I always find it easier to soak it in water for a bit to loosen everything up. Needle nose pliers are a huge help here. Now this pack happens to be filthy, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a bath. The donor pack looks great, so now we're ready to extract the affected pack. Admittedly, this gave me a lot of trouble, so I did need to bring in a second pair of pliers. With some patience, I was finally able to pull it apart. Now we can thread the rope through the front of the pack and tie the knot. This rope's been tied together for like over 30 years, so it almost wants to tie itself back together. You just need to keep persuading the knot to the tip of the rope and pull it back through the pack. Now we can test it out. Looks like it works great, and my set's complete. If I could make any recommendations to newer collectors, it would be to store these packs in their own separate box when they're not on display. And while they are on display, I would also recommend you do not holster the blaster to the packs. It just puts unnecessary pressure on already brittle plastic, and I'm just speaking from experience. Hope to do more of these pack fixes in the future, so we'll see you in the next one.